Come to view the requests? Come again. Yes, can I help you? This one, yes?
We were back at square one. In hopes of finding some new leads, we split up and interviewed every Seed Hollow local we could find. Despite our efforts, we found little new information. Zothba and his connections, on the other hand, proved invaluable once more as they unearthed a new clue. The girl wore a crown of flowers. I froze in place. I knew this primal. In fact, I learned of her on my first visit to Zega Grande. Konohana Sakuya, was it? Yes. An ethereal girl bearing a floral crown? It had to be her. Her presence would explain why Lyria sensed a primal beast in addition to Excavalion. She was pact-bound to Ulmarine Island, and she held domain over blossoming flowers. The unusually vibrant bouquets blooming across Seed Hollow just added more proof of her proximity. With the culprit identified, only one problem remained. Me. After what Sakuya and I went through, I doubt she would ever show herself around me again. Before I could share this revelation, there was something else I needed to discuss with the crew. Not about Konohana Sakuya, but my time spent with the captain's father. His crew was on a journey to collect Astrum fragments. These fragments were said to have fallen straight from the astral realm and contained the power of the primal beasts themselves. Using the fragments, the captain's father could separate astral power embedded within primal beasts and return them to their original forms. That was the purpose of his journey. His was a mission of liberation, to free so-called deities and legends who were tethered to the sky realm. Once free from the shackles of their corporeal forms, they could fade back into the nebulous ideas and faiths that had given them structure in the first place. Of course, it would be up to the primal beasts themselves to make this decision. Some had grown quite fond of living in the sky realm. However, there were countless others who were born into the skies, cursed to fight for eternity. These were the ones who longed for a return to the immaterial. At the lowest point in my existence, when I felt I had no purpose in these skies, I'm sure I felt the same. Regardless, some were quick to brand us a ruthless crew of primal hunters. And surely Konohana Sakuya had heard the rumors. But the question remained, why had she decided to reveal herself to me now? Unfortunately, simply knowing the identity of the girl would not solve the problem of her many phantom appearances.
So, is this, Kahuna Yakuza? You think she's the one causing the monsters to come out?
Unlikely. I've never met her in person, but I don't think she and the ominous forms are connected in the slightest.
Yo, got some new intel on the girl. You're still, working the case, right?
The family Zothba had been continuing to search for clues in the background, and thankfully, their search bore fruit. In one of the areas where the ghostly girl was sighted, a bystander had found an ancient book.
Broke my brain trying to read the dumb thing, but you're smart and pretty smart and, well, Yeah.
Oh, poor boy couldn't even get his words straight. Thank you. You're quite the gentleman.
No, I'm not. I'm a badass. Anyway, I should get going.
He had barely placed the book in my hands before scurrying off. What had gotten into him, I wonder? I opened the book and peered through the rune-like characters inside. No normal person would be able to decipher this.
Oh, that looks really complicated.
Really? Let me see.
When Vern approached the book, Roland's transceiver began to glow. It illuminated the text, somehow morphing the illegible script into something readable. My breath caught in my chest. Had an astral authored this book? The text seemed to be a log from an experiment of sorts. Although it was barely legible, I tried to grasp its meaning. Originally, it was Excavalion, primal beast of fortification, who forged a pact with Almarine Island. Although it's unclear why, Excavalion would eventually migrate to Dali, leaving Konohana Sakuya to take its place on Almarine. That was all I could make out of the texts. With this new information, I needed to re-examine the facts. First, the stage. Almarine Island, home to Seed Hollow and its citizens, once protected by Excavalion. Next, a curious switch. Konohana Sakuya takes its place as the island's pact-bound primal. Now, our present mysteries. A crystal shard replete with Excavation's aura. On Graminu's altar beneath the castle, the ominous forms. And finally, Konohana Sakuya's curious reappearance. Think, Rosetta. Was the shard left behind by Excavalion? Did it serve a purpose in protecting the island? It was possible that Avia's invasion of Seed Hollow destroyed this mechanism, causing the primal to reveal herself in defense.
Now that I think about it, the ghost rumors started to pop up only after that crystal beneath the castle was destroyed.
So, it was all connected. There's no time to explain, but more ominous forms will appear if we don't repair this island's defense system. Where could we find another fortifying crystal?
How about Dolly? That's where Excavalion lives now, right? Maybe it's got a spare lying around.
Indeed. If we were to find a solution to our problems, it would be buried beneath those churning sands. If I'm not mistaken, we should come across a guardian crystal not too far from here. Let's take a look around those hills. Do you remember where we fought that griffin? Oops. Didn't mean to wake you. Mind letting us pass through? You want more, don't you? Roses, come to my aid! Come, Crimson Thorns! What do you think? Nice try. Refreshing, isn't it? Fall with the blossoms. Full bloom. Come and get me. What do you think? Huh? A wild monster's den. I'd like to avoid needless bloodshed if possible. The roses shall protect you. The roses shall protect roses. Unfurl your blossoms. Spiral rose.
Duh, that ain't it.
Did we find it?
Excavalion. It's faint, but I can feel it.
A cobra! It must have been way in the stripe.
It seems words won't work here. Get ready, everyone. Am I alluring? You want more, don't you? Goodbye now. Full bloom! Can't keep up. Fight harder! Should I fall? conclude?
Might want to heal.
The roses shall protect you. Unfurl your blossom.
I don't think you can take much more.
Come and get me. Not today.
You might want to
Refreshing, isn't it? Can't keep up? The roses shall protect you. The How beautiful. You want more, don't you? Did you miss me? Come and get me.
You're looking worn out, pal.
Even the sweetest rose. Do forgive me. Say goodnight. Fall! Get them! Keep my innocence. Sullen Rose! Careful. Don't let it strike you with venom. Refreshing. Nice try. Spiral Rose! Am I alluring? The roses shall... Can't keep up? Refreshing. The roses shall protect you. You want more, don't you? Nice try. I can fight. Refreshing, isn't it? Very well.
Might want to heal.
Refreshing, isn't it? Roses. Unfurl your blossoms. The roses shall protect you. Enough. Not today. Refreshing, isn't it? Shall we conclude? Time for you to go. Not today. Very well.
I don't think you can take much more.
Come, Crimson Thorns! Am I alluring? You want more, don't you? Full bloom! Refreshing. Refreshing, isn't it? Say goodnight! Now then, where were we?
Oh, we did it! Let's take this crystal back to Seed Hollow.
Shortly after securing a crystal from Dolly, we returned to Seed Hollow Castle. We installed the new crystal beneath the castle, causing a pale green light to illuminate the area. It was the familiar aura of hallowed ground, sure to repel any lingering ominous forms.
It's too bad we couldn't meet her. Konohana Sakuya.
The mystery had been solved on nearly all fronts. I'd be lying if I said I was completely satisfied, however. After all was said and done, I still didn't get the opportunity to clear the air with her.
Come to view the requests?
Peace returned to Seed Hollow, and it was soon back to the usual hustle and bustle. I informed the frightened repairman of the girl's true identity, the primeval god of Seed Hollow.
A primeval god? Holy macaroni! That's a spicy nugget of news. How do you manage to stay so charming and informed?
A lady never reveals her secrets.
It's a little sad that you couldn't meet Konohana Sakuya. I know you wanted to apologize to her.
I knew, somewhere deep down, that talking with her wouldn't bring back all the journeys I had with the captain's father. However, seeing all the blooming flowers across the city, it almost felt as if she was acknowledging me anyway. I may well have imagined it, but call it something of a mutual understanding between distant sisters. After the vibrant patchwork of spring began to spread throughout Seed Hollow, I made a habit of taking a daily stroll around the city. On one of my walks, I had mindlessly put the crystal fragment in my dress. After arriving at a particularly sunny spot, I took it out to admire it. Something about it was different today. Instead of my usual reflection, if not only for a brief second, I saw a smile that wasn't my own. A girl in a flower crown. Our eyes met for a second before, pop! A single rose had materialized at my feet. When I looked back into the fragment, she was nowhere to be seen. Although I can't prove it, I know that she was here, listening to me. So I whispered, "Beautiful. This city has blossomed under your care, all while blooming in your own right. You deserve to be here."
Come again.
Huh? My turn? Let's do it.
Yes, can I help you?
How's this for a catch? I proudly displayed the jewel fin before the Fisher God. Its scales glistened in iridescent waves, unreal in their beauty. Its fins ethereal and transparent, waved as if kissed by a breeze. That old coot was flabbergasted.
Slap my behind! Where in the seven skies did you find this?
That was a delicious reaction. But of course, the Fisher God was a fisherman of taste, and he had a rebuttal prepared. It was a large fish, obsidian in color, whose scales seemed to drink the light like a void. Its dorsal was strong and stiff, as if to mark it as a sea king.
Whoa! 2 legendary fish? Isn't that nuts?
Both of our catches fit the criteria of the competition. It was gonna be too hard to call. Guess we couldn't complain, though. Not every day we got to see such rare specimens. Still, something had to be done. So we turned to Lyria, Vern, and the captain.
I think both are amazing. I've never seen such pretty fish.
Can't we just say you're both incredible and be done with it?
Guess 2 legendary fish don't make a champion. Especially when we were both set on wearing the crown. Nope, it didn't sit right with me. Our rivalry pushed the craft of fishing forward, hadn't it? There was fire in our guts, and we deserved to name a proper victor. Listen to your blade, and she'll sing for you. Vern saw the determination plain on our faces.
You guys aren't gonna let this go, are you? Game's back on, then.
Lyria pondered for a moment and made a suggestion.
How about whoever fishes up the most happiness? That could be interesting.
A genius suggestion. This island was under Avia's control, terrifying the population. It would be a saintly move to give them cheer with a side of full bellies. It was settled. We would go with Lyria's suggestion. He who could bring the most happiness to the island would take it. After a nod to one another, the Fisher God and I set out to do some real fishing. So, who's ready to shove off? Hope we come across a good fishing spot.
If this blizzard, how are you gonna even see your rod?
Ancient technique. Back at him! I can hear running water. You think this here hole has a river at the bottom? We're just looking to fish. What if you want to be a sushi platter? Step right up, armor break! School like a... Sweet! Can't get my body to move! Run like a book! That's this! Hey! Oh! Almost had me! Looking good. How's about we end it? Try to keep up. Watch and learn. One. Smell you later, strike! Let's take it! Who else is feeling refreshed? Yes! Reagan leg! No running for me! Come on now! Hey. Looking good! Just like that! It's cursed for you! Try to keep up! Armor break! Hey! Just testing you, lad! Lay it on him! Smell it! Looking good! Hey! Oh!
Can fish even live in weather this cold?
The colder the weather, the fatter the fish. Makes a good barbecue.
Ooh, that's neat. You learn something new every day.
It's curtains for you. Follow me. My hand slipped. Got him. Schooled like a fish. Oh, sucker. Time to shine. Got him.
I can barely keep up.
Need a breather? Try to keep FTP! Read like a book. Just like that. Schooled like a... Played like a fiddle. Come on, tadpole! Bless me, fuck! That was brilliant!
I guess so.
No running! Read like a book. Reel him in! Hey! Catch this! Come on now! Ooh, that spot looks swell. This place is perfect. Let's get started.
Holy crap! Looks like the monsters caught our scent.
Curse their timing. I'll clean them up right quick. Smell you later. Watch and learn. No running for me. Hook 'em fast.
We better stay focused.
Gotcha. Almost had me. Looking good. Just testing you, lad. Reeling. Schooled like a fish. Try to keep up. Hey. Over there, sir. Little dizzy. Played like a fiddle. Schooled like a bee. Strike!
After you!
Hook, line, and sinker! Hey. Played like a fiddler. Get up! Say your prayers!
Whoa!
School up! Keep your peepers locked on your surroundings. Come on now! It's curtain for you! Opportunities are knocking! That was a doozy!
I guess so.
Whew. That takes care of that.
I wouldn't be so sure. Looks like we got a big fella on our hands next.
For real? We don't have time for this.
Yep. And judging by its bad attitude, I don't think it's gonna let us leave without a fight. Ah.
It's right there. Yeah.
Try it out. This here's a sight for sore eyes. Sorry, bub, but you're between us and our fishing spot.
Panacea!
Mighty kind of you. Venom sticker.
Right, sir!
Pour it out, pal.
Catch this!
No running for me. Hey. That's it! A warrior hones his art over years and years of battle. Ultimate fly! Captain!
Duty calls! Not now, not ever!
MTV! Take this! Air detonation! Don't let this old coot outpace you.
Gotta break it out.
Go time! Read like a book.
Whoa!
Oh, tit for tat. Smell you later. Strike.
Let's take it!
They grow up so fast.
I'm not a toddler, you know.
Plays like a fiddle. Read like a book. How about we end it? Hey. It's curtain for you! Plays like a fiddle, read like a book. No running for me!
Looking good.
Come on now! Watch and learn!
Catch this!
Yes! Watch him flounder!
Take this!
Come on, folks! Attack!
Right! Right surge!
Oh!
Here they come!
Roger! Can't get caught on the back foot!
What's that?
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Hey! Yeah!
Take him out! Catch this!
I'm moving! Hit him!
Just testing you, lads! Reel him in! Come on now!
Great!
No running for me! It's curtains for you! Come on, tadpole!
Here goes!
Wildcat! Aren't you some?
I do my best.
Try to keep up! Watch and learn!
Just like that!
MVP! It's taken all that damage, but that hasn't slowed it down a bit. Better try to finish it off before we get exhausted. Reel him in. School. Read like a book.
Looking good.
School like a fish. Try to keep up. Read like a book. No running for me. How's about we end it? School, one more. Take this. My hand flew. Keep light on those toes.
Yes! On me! Tempest flame!
Aye, aye, Captain. And none shall escape the cover of a shroud. Dodge, come. Take this. Air detonation. Go time. Don't let this old coot outpace you. Ready? Yeah. Fiddlesticks! Pull it together!
Help is on the way! Let's patch you up.
Appreciate it!
Catch this!
It's curtains for you! School, I got the shot!
Great!
Reel him in!
Watch out!
We really opened a can of worms, didn't we?
Catch this!
Fear not, youngling! later! Yes! Plays like a fiddle! Catch this! Schooled like a fish! Back at him! Mighty kind of you!
More.
Rats like a keep up! Going in! Feel the wind in your sails!
I guess so.
Schooled like a fish, played like a fiddle. We broke that sucker clean off.
Nice! Yes!
Oh! How's about we end it? Hey, run like a book. Reel him in. Go time. Schooled like a fish, right? Schooled like a try to keep up. Follow me. My favorite ain't grow up so fast.
I'm not a toddler, you know.
Plays like a fiddle. Reel him in. No running for me! Come on now! Empty big! Red like a book. That was a good. Got my casting arm all warmed up. Oh, I hope we didn't scare off the fish. Oh boy. I'm ready to get down to the pond. Results day had arrived. Residents of Seed Hollow were gathering, waiting to see what bounty we could share.
Feast your eyes. I have caught the elusive brave scale.
The Fisher God took to the podium. The largest fish in this skydom strung up behind him. The crowd was wowed by the sheer scale of the thing, and I was no exception. Should have known he'd come out with rod blazing. But I, on the other fin, took a different approach. Behold! All these humble shellmen who make their home in these very rivers. I sure wasn't gonna win through size, but maybe superior numbers would do the trick. Next, the Fisher God and I began to fillet our catches, sharing sushi, soup, and ceviche of all sorts with the crowd.
The Brave Beam is delicious. And how do you beat that impact?
The shellman is just as good. It's so fresh and it's been served at the optimal temperature. Absolutely perfect.
Everywhere we looked, there were people enjoying our efforts. Even the crew were getting their fill while they could. But since it was a competition, next up was evaluations. Members of the crowd were to vote on whose catch made them feel better, both in flavor and in general happiness. One after the other, the votes piled up for the Fisher God. It was starting to look hopeless. But there was a special reason I chose to serve the shellman. I wasn't panicking just yet.
Shall we call it there, friend?
I gotta hand it to you, Fisher God. You served some delicious fish. But let's see how it plays out. While I was talking, a cute little scamp, snot running down his nose and everything, cast a vote for me.
You didn't want to vote for the big fish, sweetie? It was too big and scary. I like the small fishies.
The fisher god's breath caught for a moment, and I knew he understood my plan.
Yes, can I help you?
The fisher god bowed his head and admitted I was the winner. But before I could humbly accept his withdrawal, Vern voiced honest confusion.
Looking at the votes, you're the clear winner, aren't you?
Not at all. Without this master of the rod opposite me, these results wouldn't have been possible.
He spoke from the heart. Moved me a bit to hear that he understood me through and through.
It's ordinary fish, ones we consume daily, that bring us health and happiness. Delicacies shine because they're a rare treat, but well-being is built on something more than rarity. Hearing that youngster speak, I understood what Yodarha was trying to tell me. The fact I couldn't surmise for myself is proof of my hubris.
He continued.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, a child's smile will do more for a village's well-being than all the legendary fish in the sea. That's what I should have been aiming for.
A smirk sat on his lips as he turned to me.
Congratulations, Yodarha. Even had I won this competition, I concede in our fish-off. You are the rightful victor. I've learned much from our duel. I thank you from the depths of my heart.
Never in my days had I met a more worthy gentleman. And you, good sir, helped this old minnow rediscover his love of the sport. After the voting had concluded, the townsfolk were still savoring our dishes. Both Brave Bream and Shalman were a hit. The satisfied smiles of the people were evidence of this. But, as all good things must come to an end, so too did the feast. Despite the mountain of fish we started with, not a single fillet was left. I turned to the fisher god, a gleam in my eye. And though he just admitted defeat, his eye held the same twinkle. You want a race to see who can get this place spick and span quicker? We were no longer rivals. We were brothers of the rod. And this little competition would tide us over till our next real match. We were shopping at Sierro's when the merchant herself popped up from behind the counter. Apparently she'd been waiting on us, ready to share the latest seaworthy gossip.
A certain rumor swam earlier this month. You see, people are saying there are 2 fisher gods working this skydom. Would you know anything about that?
Vern and Lyria gasped in surprise before turning to give me a curious look.
Could it be?
You know, I never meant to keep making a name for myself, but old habits die hard, don't they? Sounds like quite the handsome fella. Can't wait to meet him.
With each skydom I visit, I survey both the lands and the people, hoping to extract the worthiest hearts as vassals for my own kingdom. To that end, I return to Folca, the first settlement we came upon in Zega Grande. But though the earth is ever filled with rich soil and strong rock, true gems are few and far between. So too are the noblest spirits. The people of Folka were of a good but common sort, who preferred constancy to change. They had no army, and peace in the city was kept by a band of volunteers. But if there is one thing I have learned from the captain and crew, it is that wisdom and strength often reside in the unlikeliest of places. Thus, I sought out the Fulkan Defense Corps, hoping to find a diamond in the rough. The city folk, however, expressed little faith in their guards.
The Defense Corps? Full of bums who got more stomach for eating than fighting.
Better off calling them the Defense Corpses for the fat lot of help they are.
Yet these were dangerous times for Folka. Brigands and monsters now swarmed about the city, attracted like flies to the reek of Avia. The people looked to the Defense Corps for protection, but received only excuses.
We don't have the resources to combat this threat. Take shelter until the danger is past.
And so the city grew to trust vagabond skyfarers more than their own soldiers. Though I had little hope of finding a vassal among this ragged band, perhaps there was a lesson to be learned from their weakness. When I build my kingdom, it will need to be governed by its own councils. But houses of power, choked by the vines of corruption and frailty, ever fall into decay. Is there any prevention? Where does the first crack form? It was in Folka that I would piece out the answer to this riddle. My road to the Defense Corps was short, but troubled.
This world is being drowned in tears of suffering. Poor wretches, join us on the ship of salvation and sail to the island of Estalucia.
It began when I happened upon a man in the city streets, preaching the creed of Avia. Though we had overthrown the main body of the church at Seed Hollow Castle, still, its teachings lived on. Its adherents once numbered in the thousands, and the remnants yet drifted through the skies like ghosts. Now they haunted Folka, hoping to once again breathe life into their crusade. But the city folk had learned that Avia would sacrifice anything on the altar of salvation. Their gilded words held no more value.
Get out of here! We know what you did at Seed Hollow!
We aren't inviting tragedy into our city. Leave!
As the throng railed, unease stirred within me. The adherents of Avia would march on an armed country if their leader so much as waved her hand. What could heated words do but spark their anger?
I came to offer you salvation. If you won't drink from the cup of mercy, you will taste divine retribution!
Voices soared, and the air grew heavy with the threat of violence. Yet the Defense Corps, who were charged with keeping the peace, did not appear. You there, tell me. I asked a man why mediators had failed to come.
I'd be surprised if they did show. Without Mr. Fix-It to help them, bastards can't even wipe their own asses!
Though I had expected it, seeing the proof of their cowardice still astonished me.
Silence! Now it's clear. If we want to break in your minds, first we've got to break in your bodies!
What are you doing? Let go of me!
An Avieth Crusader, lifting an islander by his collar, raised up a fist. but I seized his arm before the blow could land. Strike him, and you will lose that hand. I would not suffer the defenseless to be oppressed.
You miscreant! How dare you threaten a member of the church!
You speak of threats. You would force your doctrine on the unwilling with an iron fist. The time of Avia is over, preacher. Your false church is no more.
Blasphemy! We'll have your tongue for that!
Aviath's soldiers surrounded me, drawing their weapons. I had hoped you would listen to reason. But now I see, you only understand pain. With a hand on the hilt of my sword, I waited for them to attack. But like craven dogs that bark loudest when their quarry is far ahead, the Crusaders stopped short when I stood to face them. After sharing some whispered counsel with his fellows, the preacher said to me,
"We won't fight you in the city. No, be too much hassle cleaning you off the flagstones. Let's step outside, and then we'll see if that bulky armor is compensating for something."
I could not hold back a laugh. Their intent was as clear as day. They meant to draw me into an ambush. Very well. I will play your game.
We'll wipe that smirk off your face. Just you wait.
The Crusaders and I turned to leave.
He's going to get himself killed!
Call the Defense Corps! Even those worms should be able to do something!
Frightened voices whirled behind me. I did not quiet them, for though 3,000 ants of Avia could not crush one lion of Wales, I saw a chance to further test the core. Set out.
Death to all who interfere with Avia's sacred... mission!
You have abandoned mercy for violence and wisdom for bigotry. How dare you call your cause a sacred?
Fatal strike!
You will...
A demon! Some evil must be feeding his flame! Call for backup! You can't... Tell them to bring the droid up!
Good. Summon all your forces. It will save me the trouble of seeking them out.
Back to the board. Just one worm! Why can't we crush him?
Strength of will is right. Reflected in strength of arms.
Reporting for duty.
You're finished now, interloper!
That hubris will be your downfall. Scarlet Sword. my call! It's strange. Though a great battle rages on their doorstep, the Corps do not appear. Do they sleep?
My poor brethren. You won't like what's coming to you, interloper.
His brother Absalom! The redhead's done for!
Bend to my will, or break! It's over! It's over! On your knees. You can't.
Here goes!
I see. To the...
Fire!
Back to the ball. Let loose the fires of war. Ashes to ashes! It's over! Perish! On your knees. So. Scarlet Sword.
Wait. I know you. The Lord of Flames.
I see my name has reached even the dregs of Zega Grande.
His fire is the fire of hell.
True gold fears no fire.
Damn you! Damn you to the bottom of the skies!
The Crusaders took quickly to their heels. The weakest dogs bark the loudest. I sheathed my sword, judging pursuit to be a waste of time. I doubted the cowards would ever return.
There's one over there!
Alerted by a voice, I looked up to see a group of soldiers hurrying towards me. Their livery was not of Avia, and they carried their weapons with the grace of a schoolboy wielding his first quill. I had a good guess of who they were. After they had ringed me about with spear points and blades, one cried,
No funny moves, or we'll skewer you like a pig!
Who are you, and what business do you have with me?
Of course you don't recognize us, or you'd be shaking in your fancy boots. Listen up. I'm Douglas, captain of the Falcon Defense Corps. You one of the Avia rats that raised hell in our city?
Better come quietly, or you'll be sorry!
For a moment, amazement wrested from me the power of speech. Then I said, Surely you do not believe I am a servant of Avia.
Don't play dumb! Who else would wear that tacky armor?
What did you call my armor? I had always known my garb to be striking. So is the livery of all great kings and lords. For on the midnight field of battle, the general must ever be the brightest star. Thus may he enkindle courage in friends, and show the enemy he is not afraid. My own armor was well worn, and had shielded me from many dangers. To speak ill of it was a grave affront.
We're taking you back to the station, and don't even think about running.
What's so funny?
Nothing. Nothing at all. In truth, this was a matter more to weep than to laugh at. The proud guards of Folka, arriving like carrion crows after the battle to pick at what spoils they may. It was a pitiful sight. Defense corpses, indeed. Do what you will. And so I was marched back to the city. I will lead us to triumph.
Come to view the requests?
The Defense Corps questioned me at their guardhouse. An enlightening experience, as I had never been a prisoner before.
All right, fess up. Tell me exactly how you're connected to the Church of Avia.
I repelled a group of crusaders that threatened your people. You had no right to apprehend me.
Shut your mouth!
That was all Captain Douglas could stutter out, before retreating into silence. Has guilt caught your tongue? I know your actions weigh on your conscience.
If you're trying to scare me, Mr. High and Mighty...
I am trying to help you. Now take heed. As keepers of peace, you are given the authority to take prisoners. But it is not a power to be used lightly. For to imprison someone is to rob them of time, and not all the riches in the world can repay that debt. I went on with hardly a pause. Today you failed your duty. You did not come when your people were in peril. Had I not been there, blood would have been spilled in your streets. And yet you seized me on sight like a petty thief, with no proof other than your own prejudices. I let my final words fall like the stroke of a hammer. You have dishonored your titles and your city. Color fled from the soldiers' faces, leaving only remorse.
Hey, Captain. I think he might be right. We did kind of arrest him for just being there, and wearing tacky armor.
Don't let him get to you!
Now the soldiers began to contend amongst themselves. They had to keep quiet about my capture, said one, or there could be trouble. If only they had not delayed after hearing reports of violence, said another. It was good fortune, countered a third, that they had not run into Avia. So on and on they argued in circles, aimless, like a dog chasing its tail. Until at last, Douglas, his impatience boiling over, burst forth with...
All right, fine. Fancy Pants, you're acquitted. Now scram!
No. Seeing the soldiers at a loss, I said. Since you have taken my time, I now ask you to share some of yours. I hear that your ranks are corrupted with frailty and disorder. From whence did this rot first spread?
Why should we tell you, huh? You got nothing to do with it.
Because I desire and command it. For a moment, Douglas could only stare.
Come on, Captain. Just give him what he wants. Yeah, I don't think this guy takes no for an answer.
Okay, Rubelux, you win. Now pipe down and listen up.
And so the captain and soldiers of the Corps told me of their history and their malcontent.
After the war, Zega Grande was left undisturbed for 500 years.
This peace, like a deep sleep, had dulled the minds and limbs of Volca's warriors. So when the Crusades of Avia roused them at last, they were found weak and unready.
Still, we did all right in the beginning. You probably don't know him, but we used to have a Mr. Fix-It in the city. Went by the name of Roland? Angel of a man, but he fought like a demon.
The strength of Roland was their fortress, to which the Corps could rally if the battle went ill. When he vanished, the soldiers were left without their greatest defense.
So, there we were, a group of idiots who could barely tell the butt of a spear from its head, left to play this game of cat and mouse.
Self-loathing seeped into Douglas's voice.
I know what everyone thinks of us. I know what they call us. But do you think we're wimps because we want to be? Now that Roland's gone, sending my Corps to war, a real war, would be sending my brothers and sisters to death.
Captain Douglas, you've been trying to protect us this whole time?
I sighed. Why do the best intentions so often lead us astray? Very well. For your sakes and mine, I will help the Corps regain its former glory. Maybe by rebuilding this fallen band, I would learn a lesson in how to lay the foundations for a kingdom. The next morning, I paid a visit to the Defense Corps headquarters. I did not receive a cordial welcome.
You're that redhead. Why'd you come back here?
To supply you with counsel. Now hearken to me. The soldiers could only look on in wonder as I continued. Order is the basis of any kingdom, great or small. It is what establishes harmony in music and builds peace out of strife. You are its keepers and conductors. Take pride in your duty. To this, the soldiers could find no response. I went on. You told me you cannot fight because Roland is gone. You are mistaken. Comrades give you courage, but true strength must come from within. You cannot fight because you are weak. There followed a moment of silence. Then the Corps encircled me.
We didn't ask for your advice.
Grab him! Throw him out!
But I fixed them with a look. I have said nothing you did not already know. If you can see your faults, why not mend them? Begin by overseeing your daily tasks, for habit is the mother of success and failure.
That's it! You won't shut up? Then we'll make you!
I evaded the soldier's blow with a step. Raising my fist in the air, I said, wielding force to stifle dissent. Already you overstep your power. But I will not be silenced so easily. In one wave, the whole Corps rushed upon me, but they were like water breaking upon rock. I showed them mercy. So when it was over, their pride smarted more than their flesh.
Who the hell are you?
Only a passing skyfarer. Tell me, Captain Douglas, are you ashamed you could not lead your forces to victory against one man?
All right, Rubelux, if you're so smart, why don't you try being captain? See how hard it is to train a bunch of bumpkins.
There is no metal so firm it cannot be wrought. Very well then. Lend me your title, and I will show you how warriors are forged.
Huh?
And so I became the one-time captain of the Corps. Training began the following day. Arms maintenance, proper stance. They had no knowledge of even these rudimentary things. I was reminded of my days as a squire, when I was first initiated in the art of war. Of course, I was met with some resistance. There was talk of banishing me from Folka. Yet not a soldier abandoned their training. I saw that though they lacked discipline, their hearts were in the right place. As long as they loved their city, I would grant them the strength and knowledge to protect it. Often while they honed their bodies in the field, I gave speeches to reform them in spirit.
When you hear of trouble, act swiftly. But above all, seek to prevent. Every drop of blood is a loss. The wise win wars before the first blow is struck. Take censure, but reserve judgment. Focus on bettering yourself, but the only actions you can control are your own. Always be ready to defend your people. Though peace may reign within your borders, there is no telling what perils lurk without.
Within days, a new luster could be seen in the soldiers' eyes, and all talk of my banishment had faded.
Come again.